Part 1. The Dark Summer. 2025. After a successful season with Barcelona and brilliant performances for England, Lucy Bronze, the world's most famous right-back, seemed to be at the peak of her glory. But then, one morning in June, the football world woke up to a shock. Lucy Bronze temporarily suspended, tests positive for a banned drug after friendly match with France. Headlines were plastered across the newspapers. Public opinion exploded. Fans couldn't believe it. Brands immediately suspended their cooperation. Her Instagram account lost nearly 300,000 followers in just 24 hours. Lucy said nothing, not a single post, no excuses. Part 2. The Messenger in the Dark. While the world's media was racing to report, a British freelance reporter, Thomas Kell, found unusual signs. He was the one who had followed Lucy since her time playing for Lyon, and was also one of the people who believed in her seriousness in the profession. Lucy using drugs? No way. Thomas began his own investigation, and the deeper he dug, the more he realized the case was not simple. He discovered that Lucy's sample was tested by a private laboratory in Spain, an organization that had just signed a new contract with UEFA. Coincidentally, the director of this lab was a confidant of a former coach who was accused by Lucy in 2023 of abuse of power. Not only that, Thomas also received an anonymous message from an anonymous account. Don't trust the results. They changed the sample. Part 3. Behind the scenes. In Manchester, Lucy's family is almost stoned online. Her mother, Diane, cannot bear the pressure and is hospitalized for depression. Her boyfriend, an athlete, is exposed for attending cocaine parties. Speculations are everywhere. Lucy is suspected of falling after the failure at the World Cup. Lucy is negatively affected by her relationship. Lucy once had to take nerve support drugs, containing banned ingredients. On social media, the hashtag Justice for Lucy appears in parallel with hashtag #BronzeOut. Some players such as Alex Greenwood, Ellen White publicly support Lucy. But the Barcelona team keeps suspiciously silent. Part 4. The Person in the Dark. A strange character appears in the story, Mateo Silva, Lucy's former agent, whose contract was unilaterally terminated by her for lack of transparency in management. Thomas discovers Mateo has shady connections to a doping control company. He also has financial ties to a sports media company that is exploiting Lucy's scandal to sell advertising. The public begins to suspect, is this a plot to destroy Lucy ahead of Euro 2026? Part 5. Confessions from fans. After nearly 2 months of silence, Lucy appears in a 4-minute video on her personal YouTube. No PR, no makeup, just Lucy in an old hoodie, her eyes sunken. I don't do drugs, but I once took a strange pill at a private party in Madrid, to relieve the pain and forget a psychological shock that I never told anyone about. Lucy admits that she lost control after the death of her loved one, and in her depression, let a friend give her a pill called a nerve relaxant. But she had no idea it contained a banned substance. The video caused a stir on social media. Some people sympathized, others criticized her for being weak and unprofessional. Part 6. Break or break. Barcelona, late at night. Lucy sat in her hotel room. On the table was a draft of her early termination contract with the club. No compensation, no lawsuit, just a silent handshake. The representative from Barca, Carmen Gil, spoke softly, but each word seemed to hammer into Lucy's heart. Although we believe you are innocent, the club cannot continue to be hounded by the media. The contract is terminated in the next 72 hours. Lucy was speechless. She had nothing left, suspended, lost her contract, and now her last place to play. But then, her phone rang. It was a message from Thomas Kell. They are trying to bury you. I have a copy of the CCTV from the hotel at the party. Someone put something in your glass of wine. Part 7. Codename, Phoenix. Thomas sent Lucy a clip. A man with silver hair, wearing a mask and a black shirt. He walked up to the banquet table, where Lucy was talking to her friend, and quickly dropped a pill of some kind into her cocktail. The hotel camera had deleted this clip from the original system, but an anonymous IT staff member had restored it from backup. Thomas tracked down the man's identity. His real name was Roman Espina, a former sports scout, now an insider for Matteo Silva. His nickname in the underworld, Phoenix, a specialist in setting up doping traps for contract athletes. Lucy cried out in tears. So I was tricked from the beginning? Part 8. Hunting the Phoenix. Lucy and Thomas secretly fly to Lisbon, where Roman Espina is hiding, according to a source. They can't call the police. The sports system is too high level. A public investigation would be buried alive before it even begins. For 3 days, Thomas and Lucy track Roman to an underground bar, where he receives an envelope of cash from a man in a suit with a UEFA logo on his arm. Lucy gets closer, and Roman notices. A breathless chase ensues through the alleys of Barro Alto. Lucy finally catches up to him. Using the legs that have knocked down so many opponents, she tackles Roman to the gravel ground, holding him down while Thomas calls the Portuguese police. Roman is arrested. In his pocket are 3 packets of white powder, 2 fake ID cards, and a USB. Part 9. File, Athena. On the USB, Lucy and Thomas find an encrypted folder called Athena. Thomas decrypts it for 6 hours straight. Inside is a list of 17 famous athletes who have been drugged. Name of the person who hired Roman to carry out each job. Sports insurance contracts worth tens of millions of pounds were shortened after the scandal. An email signed MS, Matteo Silva. Lucy is stunned. She is not the only one. A whole network of scandal business is operating under the guise of professional sports. Doping right-pointing arrow athlete is suspended. Right-pointing arrow sponsor demands compensation. Right-pointing arrow intermediary law firm benefits right-pointing arrow. The hirer secretly manipulates the results of the tournament. Lucy is on the difficult to handle but highly profitable list. Part 10. The fatal press conference. 2 weeks later, in London, Lucy held an international press conference. She appeared in a white suit, cold and determined. Next to her was Thomas, and her personal lawyer. She opened by saying, "I was tricked. I was set up. And I will not let this happen to any other athlete." Thomas released all the documents from the Athena file. Journalists were stunned. UEFA was silent. Matteo Silva disappeared from the map in the first 48 hours. That same night, BBC, CNN, Reuters, Sky Sports simultaneously reported. Lucy Bronze, victim of a global sports manipulation ring? UEFA was forced to open an investigation. FIFA got involved. Lucy's account immediately skyrocketed to 1.2 million followers. Brands returned. Several athletes whose careers had been destroyed began to share their stories. All of them, drinking with strangers one night. Lucy looked into the camera, her voice firm. "I'm Lucy Bronze. And I'm back, not just to play football, but to end a corrupt system that has destroyed so many dreams." Part 11. The Court of Stolen Dreams. October 2025, Lausanne, Switzerland. Lucy officially sues UEFA, doping control company Celta Labs, and Matteo Silva at the Court of Arbitration for Sport, CAS. The trial lasted 5 days. UEFA hired a team of top lawyers in Europe. Matteo Silva was still missing. But surprisingly, on the 3rd day, Roman Espina appeared in court as a witness. And then he revealed everything, from how Matteo paid him via crypto, to the doping scripts prepared to trap unreasonable athletes. Roman said, "We don't just ruin their careers. We choose the time, the opponent, the tournament to make sure the right person wins. The air in the courtroom turned cold. No one dared to look at Lucy. Part 12. The traitor is so close. Just as victory seemed within reach, Lucy received a confidential email from an anonymous source at the last minute. You should check Thomas Kell's phone. Shivering, that night, Lucy waited for Thomas to fall asleep and turned on his phone. She didn't want to believe it, but what she saw devastated her. Thomas had been in contact with Matteo Silva for 2 months. A 34-minute Zoom call. The content was encrypted, but the traces were undeniable. The next morning, Lucy confronted him. Thomas didn't deny it. He confessed. I was originally hired to keep the story under control. But when I met you, I changed my mind. I just wanted to make things right. Lucy was silent. No tears. No anger. Just coldly said, you are no different from them. And you will also go to court. Part 13. The Villain's Redemption. The trial ended with a shocking verdict. UEFA was ordered to pay honor and financial compensation to Lucy Bronze and 11 other athletes, estimated at €62 million. Celta Labs had its operating license revoked. Roman Ospina received a 4-year prison sentence, reduced for cooperation. Matteo Silva was issued a red notice by Interpol, and was arrested in a secret villa in Bali after a week. As for Thomas Kell, he turned himself in with a tearful confession. He received a suspended sentence and was banned from journalism for 5 years. Lucy said only one sentence to him during the trial. Redeem does not begin with tears. It is with the final act. Part 14. The pitch, not the same. 3 months later, Wembley, opening night of Euro 2026. Lucy Bronze, reinstated in the squad after CAS's acquittal, walks out onto the pitch to thunderous cheers. No advertising, no branding, she wears a black armband with white writing, for the silenced. For 90 minutes, she plays as if the world is watching her every move. And in the 88th minute, from the right wing, Lucy unleashes a long-range strike that shatters the goal, giving England a 1-0 win over Germany. The stadium erupts, but Lucy doesn't celebrate. She just raises her arms, as a declaration, I'm back. And this time, I'm not just playing football, I'm defending justice. Part 15. The Last Letter. A month after the Euros. In her small house in the Lake District, Lucy opens an anonymous envelope, which reads simply, from someone who believed in you. TK. Inside is a tape recording, the last call between Thomas and Matteo Silva, before Thomas turned the car around. Matteo. Don't let your emotions get the best of you. Bronze is more than a pawn. She's a reminder to the rest of us, that if you don't listen, you'll be destroyed. Thomas, voice trembling. No, she's the last thing football has left. Lucy folds the tape, looks out the window. In the twilight, she smiles, sadly but proudly. Epilogue. Legends and Scars. Lucy Bronze refuses all advertising contracts. She founded the Phoenix Foundation, an organization that protects athletes from doping, abuse of power and dirty media. People call her, the Silent Flame, a flame that does not roar, but burns all lies. On her shoulders, there are not only medals, but also the scars of justice.